Hello, sir, audible, sir? Our voice is audible? Abhishek, sir. Hello?
Hello, Prasanna ji.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Sir, you are audible.
Very good morning to all of you. How important is research is needless to say, all of us know, but equally important is its management and its governance. So as a part of our BLD deemed to be universities R&D cell, we have organized various activities in view of the research day that is being conducted tomorrow. And one of the workshops that we are conducting today is hands-on training of Show the Chakra, a research management tool. So for this, I welcome our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Arun Inamdar, sir, Vice Principal, Dr. S.V. Patil, sir, Senior Vice Dean. I welcome our Dean R&D, Dr. M.M. Patil, sir, and resource person, Mr. Abhishek Kumar, who is joined online from InflipNet Center.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to all of you.
So he will give us a detailed insight about Show Chakra, which is a unique initiative by InflipNet. Before we begin, I call upon Dr. Prasanna Kumar BM, University Librarian, to please welcome the audience.
A very good morning to one and all. Respected Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, sir, Senior Vice Principal, Vice Dean, Professor S.P. Patil, sir, and Research Director, Professor M.M. Patil, sir, and today's resource person, Dr. Abhishek Kumar, Scientist C from InflipNet Center. I welcome today our President, today's function President, Professor Arun Inamdar, sir, Honorable Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, BLD deemed to be university. Madam, I request Dr. Chandrika Dodiyal for the welcoming. Today's guest, Professor S.V. Patil, sir, Senior Vice Principal, I request for the welcoming. And also I am welcoming today's function coordinator, Professor M.M. Patil, sir, Director R&D Cell, BLD deemed to be university. And also I am welcoming all the research guides, students, research scholars, and the library staffs. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request our Vice Dean, Dr. S.V. Patil, sir, to please say a few words on this occasion.
Good morning, and once again a warm welcome to the August gathering of PhD scholars and guides for today's workshop. The workshop for today is a Show the Chakra. As the name itself implies, Shodha is research, Chakra is cycle. So very good initiative from the InflibNet under the auspice and a big banner of UGC directives. This Show the Chakra came into existence way back in 2000s. And meanwhile, it went on getting strength and strength. And today it is functioning as an important, important event which will coordinate between the InflibNet, Ministry of Education, which in turn is a more valuable assessment for various accreditations, MOOCs programs, so on and so forth. Now we have two things in our mind always: a question or a problem. And as a scholar, we are here to answer that. That is research. Once we make attempt to answer a question or a problem is a research. Once the research is taken up by all the scholars, the process is the next important step which has to be defined well. So comes the research methodology. So the concept of research, the methodology, the progress, how it goes, and the stakeholders. The stakeholders are very important, wherein we take researchers as one of the important stakeholders. The learning scholars are the another beneficiaries, library, resources, learning resources, etc. So these things have to be run in a process. And at the middle of the course, we need to give an end to that, saying that this has to be completed with the probable outcome. Now, the entire process of the research hypothesis, question, process, the stakeholders involved in it, these things are to be monitored, because the need of an hour for today is the time gap. Once we define hypothesis or research, we are bound to end up in a certain time. So not unnecessarily pulling on to a lengthy time. So in that way, the Show the Chakra is something what is assessed as an monitoring tool, as already told in the introductory remarks, that it will be a monitoring tool for all the scholars, research scholars, the research thing, and the profile management. So all these things have been developed into an template, which is an impart of the Show the Chakra, which is a very good initiative. And today we have Mr. Abhishek Kumar, who is scientist E, handling the InflibNet to a very large extent, and he is the resource person for this today. So once again, without wasting much time in the process, let us begin this process as a first activity of us, wherein we are very lucky to have Mr. Abhishek Kumar with us, who will share the entire things, what has been happening in the last and now, and what is the expected in the near future. Once again, I thank the opportunity, and I once again welcome all the scholars for today's activity and workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our Director of R&D Cell, Dr. M.M. Patil, sir, to kindly introduce the resource person.
Very good morning to you all. For this Show the Chakra, which is the initiative of InflibNet Center. For this, we have got resource person Dr. Abhishek Kumar Singh, who is a scientist D at InflibNet Center itself. And Dr. Abhishek Kumar, he is a president awardee for his technical contribution towards the national educational projects in 2017. He is currently working as a scientist E at InflibNet Center. And sir has more than 16 years of experience in IT, inclusive of 2 years stint with Tech Mahindra, Mumbai as a software engineer. And his current engagement include activities of database management group, software R&D, e-learning projects, e-content development, automation of UGC schemes, etc., along with several national projects from InflibNet centers such as NIRF, UGC MOOCs, Swayamprabha, etc. And here I present to you Dr. Abhishek Kumar Singh, a scientist E at Implement Center. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, before we begin our session, I request our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Arun Inamdar, sir, to please give his presidential remarks.
A very good morning to all of you. The Honorable resource person of today's, Dr. Abhishek, Senior Vice Principal and Vice Dean, Professor S.V. Patil, Nodal Officer for Sodha Chakra, Dr. Prasanna Kumar, our Chief Librarian, and R&D Cell Director, Deputy Director, and team. Well, today we have started the Festival of Research Day celebration. Of course, parallelly, we have one more session in Pathology Hall. Research is one thing, which is the measure of any institution or university's output. This research management tool workshop or hands-on training, which is organized by R&D Cell, is really appreciable. It should instill you, number one, any research needs curiosity, the first thing. What the hell is that? Or why should I research the thing? Then you have to have imagination to progress into the research. And you need an intelligence. The outcome is the research product. So curiosity, imagination, and intelligence. Well, this workshop should help our guides also and the PhD students for better understanding of the methodology. If methodology is failed, the whole research question will be a failure. And I'm sure why we are insisting on PhDs, more number of PhDs, why any agency for accreditation also ask the number of PhD students. Even in our own CV or biodata, whenever we send it for any of the awards or even any appointments, one of the column is number of PhDs which we have trained. We say number of the post-graduation whom we have trained actually, but number of PhDs. And I'm sure all of you agree with this point. Gone are the days, or the days will not be there like only MD is sufficient to be a teacher in university or in even medical colleges. In engineering college, MTech was the last thing where they used to take for teaching purpose. Now it is PhD. When the demand and supply ratio variation occurs, if there are more number of teachers who opt for medical teaching, as the government policy is also like that, that every district will have a medical college. Already there are 612 medical colleges in India as on today. The days will come where PhD would be a basic degree to enter into the medical professional as a teacher. And rightly said, in all other than probably in India, everywhere a medical teacher will have a PhD. So for that also we need to prepare the workforce or human resource. So all of you who are already doing the PhD guideship should influence your own other colleagues so that they also can take some PhDs as projects and also guideship, and they themselves can also do the PhD. So I'm sure this hands-on training of Sodha Chakra, a research management tool, which will be ably guided by the expert himself from Inflibit, would definitely make all of you more knowledgeable and more better equipped to address your research question. With these few words, I really wish the workshop or the hands-on training a successful one, and it will definitely encourage all these colleagues here and also the people who are interested to do PhD or guide the PhD students. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your encouraging words, sir. Now I think we shall begin with the workshop. Before we begin, I request all those who have joined online, please, this is in meeting mode, so please mute yourselves. And over to you, Abhishek, sir.
Good morning to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, respected Vice Chancellor, sir, Vice Principal, sir, and Vice Dean, and my friend Dr. Prasanna Kumar, and all the participants. Good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to apologize because I am not attending physical mode due to some personal reason. But definitely myself and one of my team members, Miss Vaishnavi, is there, who will definitely give you the fruitful session. And end of the session, I can assure you, definitely something you will find for yourself. Either you are a part of university, either you are a researcher, or you are a guide. For all three major stakeholders is benefited from the social. Before that, I would like to thank also to Pro VC sir as well as the principal and dean sir, because they briefed very perfect manner what exactly show the check and why it is very much important, right? So let me share the screen. Vaishnavi, can you share the screen, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, next full screen. Can you start? Vaishnavi, yes, full screen, correct? Yeah. So basically, three stakeholders are there: researchers, then universities, and side guide supervisor, right? And one of user is also admin just for report purpose. So the background is currently in India there is no dedicated platform for the research scholar where we can get all the researcher details. Even in our national education policy, it says that there should be such kind of repository. So for that also, UGC issued the one guidelines on 14th March, where he mentioned that signing that MOU and creation of the RDC with Influminate Center, right? So as a outcome and to compliance this guidelines as well as this NEP for researchers, we created this platform. And this platform is for all the stakeholders that include in a life cycle of one researcher. You can get all the different kind of resources. You will get the 20 hour of the knowledge resource where it will explain what phases will come in your PhD, like academic writing, reference management, anti-plagiarism software. All these will appear on that one. Next. So now let's see in very glimpse manner, one by one, how being a researcher I will get. So being a researcher, first, once I will log in, then I will get one dashboard, or you can say dedicated virtual place. Why virtual place? Because each and every resources you are going to save into your own library, right? And this library would be accessible only through you, even not your with guide. You can share only those things which you want. Otherwise, this entire data would be saved in your login as well as only you can view. So first, dedicated place. Second, our first job is what exactly the meaning of PhD? What are the important tools would be required during that PhD? So for that purpose, we are providing 20 hours of static and video content on the research methodology. That will cover research ethics, academic writing, reference management software system, like that. After that, being a research scholar, and our first job is the review literature. Obviously, after creation of your profile. So for reviewing the literature, we required so many of theses, articles, and all. So for that purpose, we integrated Sodh Ganga repository, where right now we have more than 3,80,000 of full text thesis. So you can fetch all the record. The system will fetch all the record on the basis of your profile. For example, you are from the background of computer science. Then it will fetch all the full text thesis of the computer science among 380. Now, let's say its system fetch 4,000 of full text thesis. Now, out of 4,000 full text thesis, only 20 is useful for you. So you can put your own annotation on that 20 thesis and hold it, and you can keep it into your own virtual library, where we named as a my library and favorite library. Over there you can put. So like that, you will complete review literature. Then for chapter writing, we are providing crores of resources, and these resources system are fetching from research, Google Research Scholar, then Crossref, IRINS, and other open access platform, from where you can access all your articles. Simply you search and browse on basis of your title, subject, keywords, right? Then, as per UGC norms, 2 articles should be published into the journals as well as conferences. So for that purpose, system automatically will show you these are the UGC care list, these are the journals of your subject available in Scopus, Web of Science. So your responsibility would be create your profile very carefully, so that system will give you the correct answer. Like in Google, once we enter the word, on basis of that they give the result, right? Similarly here, all result will fetch on the basis of your academic profile. Academic profile means research title, research subject, and research keywords, right? And we integrated Jotero for your reference management system. And the last, you can interact with your guide and finally submit your thesis to university. This is the benefits to our first stakeholder, being a researcher. When we created for this researcher, then other stakeholders told during this pilot mode, what I will get. Means being a university, what I will get, being a guide, what I will get. So for that purpose, we extended this portal and added so many features for universities and guide also. So one of the major challenge and requirement, basically I can say, one was the major requirement was complete one umbrella. Under that, all their research scholars could be appeared, what the progress is going on, and when the RDC will come of my second research scholar, when the RDC will come on the first, what was the feedback during the committee of RDC. So those things was the requirement. So all these things we added when you will log in as a guide. When you will log in as a guide, you can update your profile. Even in profile, once you add your Vidwan ID, application will get automatically fetched from our system. Then you can interact with your research scholar. You can share your view as a notes with your research scholar and among research scholar also. Let's say one note I want to share with my all 4 research scholars. Then it will available to, if I want only to 1:1, then we can share only 1:1. So like that, these are the role of guides. Even we have given provision also, guide can add the researcher while the registration process. But yes, once it will verify by university or department, then researcher can log in. Now the third stakeholder is a university, right? Institute. So being an institute, our first benefit I can say is once you log in into system, complete dashboard you will get. How many research scholar enrolled, how many guides are enrolled, what are their progress. Progress means in terms of the RDC detail, how many submitted the thesis. Even once we are working on the another phase, and this second phase, what it shows after post submission, because once you submit your thesis, it goes to reviewer. So now we are adding the fourth stakeholder very soon, where reviewer can log in into our system and they can review the thesis here itself. And one university is saying, yes, this thesis has already been notified, then your thesis will automatically posted on our Sodhganga platform. No need to upload once again into Sodhganga platform. Automatically we linked with the Sodhganga, right? So these are the benefits and our major stakeholders, right? Now I am summarizing role and responsibility basically. So next, so being a university, or I can say being a nodal officer, I am just starting from a scratch. Okay, let's say today someone signed the MOU, right? Then what will happen? Right now, what is happening? So many research scholars are registering on our portal, but their university has not yet signed the MOU. So those research scholars get stuck. How I will get the resources and all. So for that purpose, frequently we are organizing the training session. Even our directors are told that make the national workshop on the different region basis in the physical mode. So very soon we are coming with those plan also, so that more and more stakeholder or HEI can participate. So coming back to this nodal officer and we can say HEI, after the signing and MOU, we provide one credential to nodal officer or to university. What the role of nodal officer is and university is, first create the users. You can or university can create a number of users. Let's say I am XYZ university and I have 40 departments. So I will create the 40 user and password for the each department, because it is very tough for me being a nodal officer to get all the data of all research scholars. So you can make the independent system for independent departments or schools. Even under one department, you can create a number of users. Under one schools or one faculty, you can create a number of users, so that they can take care of their own research scholar, right? So first create the users, and obviously the profile means VC detail, registrar details, nodal officer detail, you can update. After that, we have given provision, it is optional also. You can directly do the registration of research scholar and guide. You can put all the RDC details as well as post thesis. As I told you, post thesis things you can do. Right now, it's completely up to university. There is no mandatory kind of thing. It's completely up to you. Some university is using only for the research scholar to get the resources. Some university is using only till RDC process, but some university are also using till the thesis submission. So it's up to you and your decision at what level you are going to use this platform, right? So these are the role of the HEI. And we have given the another option for online training, signing MOU in portal itself, so that a nodal officer, if they have any doubts, they can communicate to us. Next. So once the university will create the users, then you role of that user basically department head or the school head. So they can also create the researcher or verify the researcher, because there are two kind of registration, two way of registration. One researcher can do themselves registration, that is called self registration. So for self-registration directly, you can visit portal sodhachakra.influminate.ac.in and get your registration. After registration, you will get ID password, but you will not get all the resources. So you will get resources only when university will verify you. Yes, this is my researcher scholar. So for that purpose, here we have given rights and privilege to universities and this department user. They can verify their student, so that a student, once they will log in, they can access all the resources. And the second responsibility of the department is put the detail of RDC. Okay, your fourth RDC will be on such and such date. Please upload your work progress kind of thing. Right. So this is the features, and you can say use responsibility of the department and school users. Next. Now, being a guide, what is my responsibility? First, as I told you, you can create your own profile, and this is not the simple profile. It's a research profile where you will, once you will add your academic identity like Orchid ID, Vidwan ID, so automatically system will fetch all your publication so that your student will get benefited of your publications, right? Then most important role of the guide is to set the objective, right? What is the objective of this thesis, so that it will reflect. Let's say if somebody say how many research scholar and how many professors are involved in the research field in the, let's say in COVID, right? On the topic COVID. So immediately from this portal itself, results should come. Okay, on COVID, there are 300 research paper are in pipeline, and these many professors are engaged, and they have their own research scholar, right? Then this is the major objective. So I will request all the guide put the objective in detail, so that all kind of data will be ready. Means basically research trained in India on the different topics. Right. Then, as I told you, RDC detail and interact with the researcher. Interact with researchers means in terms of discussion forum, in terms of mail, and very soon, if the trial will allow, then integrated with the SMS also. Next. So now, being a researcher, as I told you, there are two ways of registration for the researcher. Right. One is self-registration. Once you will do the self-registration, then you have to wait for university consent. Once university or your department will verify, then immediately you will get all the resources. And the second option is directly university can import your data. Means we have given the bulk upload option also. Directly you can import all the researcher scholar detail. And you have to click on one button, and all the credential will go to individual researcher scholar. Right. So once university or department will add, then there is no need to verification, because university itself uploading the data of researcher scholar. So researcher scholar can directly access the portal. Next. So this is the life cycle of this one process is self-registration or the registration by the university, then verification by university. You can log in into portal, access all your resources, participate, interact with guide, put the RDC, participate in RDC detail, and finally thesis submit. So this is the research cycle of the researcher. Next. Next. No, directly you just jump into what the resources we are providing. This is fine. Directly go next. So Ms. Vaishnavi will explain you directly onto the portal. Being a researcher scholar, what I will get. Being a guide, how I can operate this portal. I'm just moving to what research a scholar will get. What are the resources we have integrated. Right. Yes, first you saw those four yes, this one, research profile. So I will request all the research scholar put these four columns very carefully. Profile, your topic and title, any scholarship, fellowship you are getting, and most important, keywords and metadata. Because on basis of keywords itself, we are fetching everything. Either it is the full text, your article, your publication, journal list, conferences. It's completely on the basis of your subject area, right? Then next, this one. Can you do the full screen, Vaishnavi? So it is available on browser also, and by most probably by the 18th or 19th, you will get all the video tutorial, and every tutorial would be hardly 30 seconds or 1 minute, because as per our YouTube experience, because we have millions of hits on the different channel of the e-learning, it shows that the learning engagement period of any video is not more than 10 minutes and all. So for the guidelines and the help manual, we are just putting very small video of 1 minute, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, how to do the things. For example, how to register, then how to add research scholar, how can I access the resources, like that. Right. So just see resources. So first one is a knowledge resource. So this knowledge resource is basically 20 hours of content, and this content comprises of literature review, research ethics, reference management, scientific academic writing, and plagiarism. Then full text thesis. Right now we have 3,80,000 of full text thesis. Then crores of users resources, and these resources from Google Scholar, Crossref, IRNF, Open Access. Then you will get, on the basis of your subject, UGC journal list, UGC Care, Scopus, Web of Science list. Then national and international upcoming conferences where you can participate and do the paper project. And then one of the important aspects, generally we do a last of our thesis report is references, bibliographic details. So for that references, we integrated Zotero. It is open source software, and how it works, it is already covered in the your knowledge under knowledge resource. Video representations are there. In Zotero, whatever you will cite, or on the single click, you can download all your cited articles or full text thesis. So that simply you have to take the printout and add into your thesis report. And this Zotero integration with the Bodhcheck, it talks both ways. Means whatever you have in Zotero, it will fetch at Bodhcheck, and whatever you will push into through our platform, Bodhcheck platform, automatically it will go to Zotero. Right. And this last one is the My Library. So My Library comprises of so many things. For example, first thing, you can store up to kind of Google Drive. You can store your own research data, and it will be available only to you. After that, you can interact with your guide under this My Library. Then we have added share things. So you can share few things with a research scholar if they are available on the same platform, as well as guide. And all your favorite resources, whatever you have added with annotation. Because fetching from the open access, you can add in favorite with your annotation. Annotation in the sense, let's say one full text thesis came. Now I can say, okay, full text thesis came. Now I want to add my own remarks on this thesis. If this thesis is very important for the chapter 3, or this is important for my such and such work. So you can put your own annotation and save it into my favorite. Means under your My Library or virtual library, you can say. So these are the major and important aspects. And purpose of this Sodh Chakra. So I will request Ms. Vaishnavi to explain in detail on hands-on on the live portal how it will do. So Vaishnavi, first you start with the research scholar, and just so this screen, just see as already I think vice principals are told this Sodh Chakra. So exact, thank you sir for that thing. This chakra, obviously this circle, and we put all the menu on this particular circle, and this circle is of the Sodh, means research. So it's a life cycle of that research scholar. So Vaishnavi, directly you can access through portal and explain how they are going to get benefited.
Sure.
And after this session, means live demo, we'll start the any doubt clearing thing. Right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Please.
Good morning, everyone. I am Miss Vaishnavi. I am in the team Shodh Chakra. Now this is the live demo I am going to give you regarding the Shodh Chakra platform. This is our website of Shodh Chakra that you have, the users will visit. You can see three stakeholders here. First is the researcher, then the university, and the guide. You can log in from this portal. First, I'm going to log in as a researcher. We have a demo account here. I'll log in as a researcher and I'll show you how the work of researcher is, how the researcher will work here. These are the login credentials you will get after the self-registration or when the university registers their researchers. The login credentials will directly be directed to the researcher's ID, registered email ID. This is the dashboard of a researcher where you can see all the resources the sir has explained before this. The researcher will get the access of these resources only when the university verifies it and they assign a guide and topic to it. From here, they can see they can update all their information, the basic details of a researcher.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Madam, can you explain how to register from the beginning onwards?
Okay, I'll explain. First, I'll show you how the researcher will self-register themselves, and then I'll show you how the university will add it. Okay.
Correct.
Now here, this is the website of Shodh Chakra. Click on the registration option. Now the researcher have to enter all their basic details like the first name, last name, the email ID, mobile number, the state they belong to, the university they belong to, and the department. They have to submit. After submitting this, they will get the message that you have been registered under this university, and your profile will updated shortly, verified shortly. Next is, I'll sign in here. This is the profile of a researcher where the by default the first name, last name, email ID, and the date of admission will come. The researcher have to update the other details like their address, the full address, their photo, mobile number, and then they have to click on submit. The window will go from here. These are the details of their research topic, the title, the date of registration, registration number. All the stars are mandatory to update. The type of PhD they are doing, guides detail, university, name of the university, the school or the faculty they belong to. Next is the department, the name of the guide. Then comes the details of the co-guide. And last is the academic identity. If they have any orchard ID or the researcher ID, they can add it here. Next is the synopsis. If their synopsis is approved, they can click it here. They can select according
Madam,
to.
1 minute. Please
Okay.
only students, research scholars only registered. Already guide has been registered by the university side.
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat?
Madam, here what happens, guides also they are registered. University side, we already registered for the guides. Only now research scholars should be registered.
Yes, yes. Only the from your university
Only-
size.
Yes.
No issue, sir. They can I'm showing you the procedure, how the researcher, what will the researcher do after they get all the access, after they get the login credentials, after the university verifies their account.
So basically, what process is, the researcher can fill all the details like title, everything, but it must be verified by the university. Then only they will get the access. So right now, she is explaining what kind of fields we are asking. Right. So these things. Any other things about you ask? Your guide has already been registered, right?
Correct, sir.
Even
Already guide has been registered.
Yeah. So no issue on guide one. She is explaining this about researcher scholar.
Only research scholar should required to register, sir. Guides already registered.
Yeah. Yes. Guide already registered. Correct.
Okay. So
Already it came to who are guide are there now. Already that username and password sent to their respective mail.
okay.
Yeah, Vaishnavi, for this case, they have already registered. So you just explain that research.
So this is for the research scholar.
Guides, not scholars.
Okay. Do you want me to explain only for the guide?
Okay. Okay, sir, excuse me. 1 minute, please. Only research scholars now registered. Guides details I will be explained later. Okay. Sir, please continue. Sir, please continue.
I was here regarding the synopsis, the details of the synopsis, if it is approved or yet to be approved, and the document the researcher has to upload here. Next is the scholarship and the fellowship details will reflect here of the specific researcher. This part is, as sir said, it is very important to add all the keywords and metadata. Next is the coursework, the details of the coursework as the what is the current status. Is it completed, not started, and yet to start? Then start and the end date of the coursework and any remarks you want to add. These are the objectives set by the guide. The researcher can see here and their progress also.
So one of the query raised during the another training of such workshop, they decide title letter stage. So on that scenario, in title column, you simply put yet to be decided because that is the mandatory field. So such things you can use. Yeah, please.
Next is the assistance for literature work. As sir said that we have integrated Shodh Ganga in Shodh Chakra portal. You can see Shodh Ganga directly here. You can search it from this search section. If I'm typing chemistry, you can search here. All the titles related to chemistry will appear here. From the right side, you can see add to favorite section, add with annotation, and the view. From view, if you click on view, it will open another window which directly goes to the Shodh Ganga portal. This is a thesis you can read here. Next is, if you add these two favorites, you can see the left hand section where my favorite is written. If you add favorites here, it will reflect there. I have added hydrogeology title. This will appear here. Next is Add annotations. If you click on add annotations, the details are already here. And you want to put any remarks for this for future reference, can already exist. This shows already exist, but if you can add annotations from here. Next is the knowledge resources, where you can see all the e-text and self-learning videos regarding the different topics like research ethics, review literature, reference management, and scientific and academic writing and plagiarism. This is the e-text and this is the self-learning video that you will get, that the researcher will be able to access. Next is the resource aggregation. Here, there is also a favorite section where you can add save your materials for future reference. If I'm adding keyword here, is it? All the details from the details regarding the chemistry topic will appear here from the Google Scholar. You can add this to add favorite section also. Next is IRINS. The same thing, the work we did for Google Scholar, we can do it for IRINS also. You can directly view and add to, and there is an option to add to favorites also. Next is the departmental publications. Here the publications uploaded from your specific department will appear here. Next is open access, open resources, that is Crossref we have integrated. You can add any DOI number or a title or author and search. You will be able to access all the open resources here. And there is an option to download, to see and to add to favorites option, same thing. Or you can see all the basic details regarding the topic. Next is Zotero. Add your ID, submit, and you can access the Zotero directly from here. This is the resource aggregation that I have explained. Next, I'm explaining is the publications with the journals and workshops or conferences comes. You will get all the details regarding the conferences or workshops and the journals regarding your specific topic. We have integrated Scopus and Web of Science for you to access all the materials for the researchers' research work. In every section, there is a different option to add in my favorite section. Here you can add, the researcher can add their own title article they must have published somewhere. You can add this here. This is the source, the title, author, publisher, the date, language, and the URL they must have published in any other journal, the URL of it. If you click on save, the list will appear like this. You can edit also, and there is an option to delete it also. Next is reference management. Here the citations, you can download the bibliography or print the bibliography report directly from this portal. Then coming from the left side of the portal, there is a drive section where the researcher can directly add extra documents or the paper or any other receipt they want to save it for the before submitting or while submitting it. So you can click on add new document, select the type of document you want to add, name of the document, and upload the file directly. Click on submit. Your file will be uploaded here. We have a 4 GB of storage data to add the researcher's document. It will appear something like this here. All the documents you have uploaded, the list will reflect it here. Next is this trash. If you want to delete it, there is a different trash option. Next is favorite resources. All the resources you have saved from different resource aggregation or the publication or from the Shodh Ganga, you can see it here, everything at one place. There's option to view. See, I've saved hydrogeology and hydrochemistry topic. It is reflecting here. You can directly access from here also. Next is resource aggregation. And last is research publication. Next is guide interaction. The researcher can directly interact with the guide. You have to, the process is to add, click on add notes, then enter the title they want to add. Like if I'm saying just update on July work. Is it, do the researcher have to share it with the coordinator or guide or not? I said yes. Okay. So click on submit, note saved successfully. The list will appear here, how many notes you have shared with your research guide. Next is the shared notes. This window shows the list of notes that the guide has shared with you. Next is the trash. That you must have something that they delete and all. Next is the guide interaction. This is the comment the guide sends to the specific researcher or the researcher at once. The comment appears here. Next is the thesis in progression. You can see all your RDC work here, along with the details like the date of RDC, the last date of submission, the committee or remarks, or the minute they must have entered. Then there is a remarks your submission, and then there is action if you want to if the researcher want to add it or not. This is the researcher's full dashboard. Until and unless the university verifies it, this bar will not come here. You can see your profile is verified by university. When the university profile verifies the researcher's profile, this bar will come. And they will be able to access all these resources. Otherwise, there is only one option that the researcher will be able to update only their profile and nothing else. Next is the guide's profile. When the university adds the guide details, they will get the separate login credentials. I'll show. This is the dashboard of guide, of specific guide, and this is the list of the researcher under him. The researchers are working, the guides under. Then this is the dashboard. Next is the guide profile. We have integrated with one Orchid ID, Scopus ID. The guide's full academic identity can be filled here. Next is the thesis submission. The researchers who must have submitted some, you have seen in the researcher section that there is an option to upload new document. So that list will reflect here in the guides dashboard. And last is the notes section. If, for example, he must have sent something to Sachin Mali, or the Sachin Mali as a researcher has sent something to the guide. This will appear here, and the guide can share this note to whomsoever they want to share regarding the discussion. Now, for one specific individual researcher, I'll see what the guide can will be able to access for the researcher. This is the guide's profile, the researcher's profile. The guide can see the basic details, the topic or the title. Next is the synopsis details. Then the scholarship or fellowship, the keyword and metadata the guide has entered from their profile. Then this is the coursework details, and last are the objectives and the progress regarding the specific objective. From here, from this objective section, the guide can add objectives so that it will reflect directly on the researcher's profile. Next is if the guide finds this researcher that this person is not working under me, that I don't know this person, they can deactivate their account from this inactive option. Next is the research area, which is very important. The guide has to fill regarding the topic the researcher is working with. This is a broader category, subcategory, narrow category, and objective for society. A list will appear like this. This is a demo thing. Next is the thesis progress. The RDC details you have seen in the researcher's profile, the same thing will appear here. When the guide creates RDC, it will reflect on the researcher's profile. So the guide creates RDC from this section. They can view or they can edit it, and they can delete it also. There is an option to modify. And there are two more options. From the active section, there is a option to add comment, and there is a different option to send message to the researcher. Likewise, for other researchers, if the university did not verify the researcher, can you see in the Hardik Darji's profile that the verify option is here? If the researcher is not verified, this option will appear for the guide. So this was the guide's dashboard and their working, how the guide has to work in this portal. Last is the university. What the nodal officer will do is, we'll see what the higher education institution will do.
Well, hello.
Yes, sir.
Madam, what is the meaning of RDC, madam?
Sir, RDC is the review department committee that has been set up by the university to review all the researcher work, sir.
Okay, madam. Like how university nodal officer are there, similarly in department wise also there is a authorizing person.
Committee, yes, there's committee sits to see all the working of the what all the working is going on regarding the research.
Like PhD committee.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So now this is the university's dashboard. As you log in, I'll show you how the university will register. Go to the university tab, click on university registration, select the state, the name of the university, and if it does not appear, the university will contact us so that we can add the university, the type of university, first name, last name, email ID, and finally the mobile number. Then after submitting, the login credentials will go directly to the registrar's email ID, because here the university will is only allowed to add registrar's details while registering. This is the university's dashboard, where the first thing what a university will do is to update their profile, add the basic details like address, state, city, about the institute, some write few things regarding the institute, the pin code number, year of establishment, and the website URL. Then next, the details of the vice chancellor, prefix, name, phone number, their official phone number, and their official email ID. Same for the registrar, all the official details will be entered here, followed by nodal officer. Next is the school and or the school or the department user the university has to add. Click on add user. Click, fill the details of every user you want to add one by one, not in bulk. First name, last name, email ID, mobile number, designation. We have added other section also. If the person is not a professor, associate professor, or assistant professor, you can click on other. Then the university. Finally, save and next. The bar will go here, and after this, adding this, it will show the university has to assign the school or the faculty the person belongs to, or the head of the department, whichever the person belongs to. Next is the researcher. I have told you the process of self-registration from the portal, how the researcher will register. Now, next procedure is is from the higher education institution. Click on add new researcher. Next is first name, last name, all the basic details the nodal officer will enter. Then next, after adding the researcher, you can see the left section of the dashboard where the pending list of assignment of topic and guide and verification is written. Here, from here also you can verify the researcher, or on the left side under researcher section, the pending list for verification is shown. From here also you can verify the researcher completely. Now there is a two-step to verify your researcher. After the researcher register or the university add researcher, something like this will come. Please see on the serial number 10. First, the university will assign the topic and guide for the researcher. Next, after this process, this section will open, which is written final verification pending is written. This will open, and you have to finally approve the scholarship and the coursework, and the final registration of the researcher will be done. As you can see here also in the pending verification list, the researchers who haven't been verified is reflected here. You can view their profile, same as the guide was able to see. Next is assign topic, and then finally the verifications section. It will the window will show like this: scholarship or the fellowship. You select if the scholarship is given, the details of it, and if it is not given, you have to select no. Next is the coursework. Finally, final verification and submission, and the researcher will be verified. Next is the guide section. The nodal officer can add as many number of guides from here, adding all the details of the guide and the school and the department they belong to. The number of guides, the list will appear here. They can edit their profile also or delete if they wish to. Next is the thesis submission. you can see the thesis in progress. This is the role of what the nodal officer can see, what the university's profile will see. If I have selected School of Science and department is Department of History, all the details regarding the department will show up here. Next is the researchers who have finally submitted their, or they have submitted some document or finally submitted their thesis. The list will appear here. Next is the reports. Here, this is the hierarchy. Like the school, first in university, school will show. Then if you click on the first I've clicked on the Inflibinet Center. Then how many departments are there under that school. How many guides are working under that department, and then how many researchers working under the guide. This is the whole hierarchy that in the report section, the nodal officer will able to keep a track on this. Next is the scholarship and fellowship. We have added 4 categories: scholarship or fellowship if they have they have been awarded. Next is if they have not, then the person who is not applicable, and the last is only registered. Last is this is the new feature that we have added is MOU and training. The MOU, when it is signed by our director sir from the Inflibinet Center, what we do is we scan the document and we upload it here so that the university will directly access the download the MOU from this section, as well as we do send the hard copy also. But before that, all the scanned document will appear here. And next is the training request that the university sends us. For what the university has to do is, or the nodal officer will do, they will select any 3 dates, whichever they on which day they want training from us. So now I have taken 15th August, 17th August, and I'm taking 20th August. If you click on submit, the request will come to our side and we select one date and we send the schedule regarding it. So this was the presentation for university's profile.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
How about this privacy of the data? Because if every thesis and everything is uploaded on the website, and
Yes.
they have an access at university also. So, like, what are the issues of data privacy here?
Hello, can you repeat, ma'am, once again? Sorry.
Sir, this is regarding the issue of data privacy.
Yeah.
The scholar would be uploading on the online, and we would be accessing, and all the reports will be there. So, what are the measures taken for the data privacy and how safe it is?
So, madam, data privacy in 2 points of view. One point of view is my qualitative research data, and the second is from the computer science point of view, means whether it is secure, portal is on safe side or not, right? So, in terms of the your qualitative research work, it would be available only to your access, means researcher login, not to the access to any other, including guide. We have not given access for their research things. That's why we are not giving the provision to share the documents, because there is one option, upload the documents. You can put n number of title. Let's say this is my first research work title, and upload my Word document or the PDF. So it will allow you to store that one, but you can't share this one. So that would be secure. Second, we are sharing only your title and your basic profile. Basic profile means registration number, registration ID, from which university you belongs, and who all are your guide. Only this thing will be shared with among university also, not your the research data and all. And from the portal point of view, we have hosted on MIT in panel cloud service provider. So it's a completely secure domain. Yes, ma'am. Any other thing?
Researcher uploads the research notes, we will get an access.
Yeah, research note you can
Only-
share with your guide.
Like if I want to correct the discussion part and the
Yes,
discussion part only they have to send to me. Is it like that? You have muted, sir.
okay, ma'am. Let's say you find something good on the web platform or the Google. Simply you can share with your guide whether this is relevant or not. Like that, you can share it. Any other doubt?
Abhishek sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Abhishek sir, the query is if guides and the student interaction, guide will be make some corrections. So and so things you need to correct, like that on chat box options they are using and give the suggestion to their research scholars. It can be possible, right?
Yeah, that is possible, sir. That is possible. In fact, sir, what I am requesting and what I am communicating to all, go with the portal, right? Even if you have some suggestion and if you need any other features, please communicate us so that we can add into the phase 2, because now we are working on the post thesis submission, right? So we will incorporate those changes and the new features, whatever you will provide the feedback, and that if it is relevant to everyone.
Okay, data privacy is data privacy is there, but it can be only for guide and research scholars.
Yes,
correct?
even more than that, only research scholar, not to guide also.
Okay. Apart from that, also nobody can access.
Yeah.
Correct.
Unless and until you will not share the ID password.
Okay, correct. That is.
Yes.
1 minute.
If that is the case, then how the RDC will be able to monitor the progress of the scholars?
Yes, so as she must shown you in RDC, first guide or department will initiate date, timing, title, and before that you have to provide the deadline to your student researcher scholar. Within 7 days you have to upload the current status, either in terms of PPT or doc file. Once researcher will upload, then whatever the remarks or actual things happen on that particular date, so the committee remarks or recommendation, it will be hosted on the portal so that a student can get, yes, this is the outcome of this my RDC.
So committee can access that. That
Yeah,
will
committee can access their work progress.
only one.
Yes, let's say I have during my research time, I used to 15 or 20 slides. So I used to send to all committee members, right?
Oh.
So here also you will get the PPT of comprises of those many slides.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, please continue. Hello, Abhishek sir.
Yes.
Please continue.
No, sir. You have to continue. Any doubt and all?
No. Doubt. There is no doubt. It's clear.
Okay, so it's we have completed. No? Yes. So we have completed all 3 stakeholders. So now I request to all use this platform. If you get any feedback or any consent, communicate to us. We will incorporate those changes.
Sir, it's I have some doubts.
Yeah.
If the researcher job is to, they need to update all the details like their PhD topics, synopsis, guides, and all other things. Am I right?
Yes, but university or department has to verify, sir.
Correct. Verification is only part of the university and the department.
Yes, exactly.
And the guide details also is updated by the guides and the guide registration.
Guide and university also.
Okay.
Means we have given liberty and autonomy to both the stakeholders.
Okay.
Either you do, I will verify, or either I will do and I will verify itself.
Okay, sir. And one more thing related to the thesis submission. Once thesis has been submitted into the Shodh Chakra, no need to submit again same thesis into the Shodh Ganga.
No, if let's say you submitted on university, right? and it will go long process. We don't know how many days thesis will be get evaluated and all those things, right? So for that purpose, once you will click yes, this thesis has been notified, then automatically it will come to the Sudhganga platform.
Okay, okay. Okay, and sir, related to the Scopus and Web of Science, that resources can be accessed by our users.
No, Scopus and Web of Science resources is in the completely your access, whether you have subscribed or not.
Okay, 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 fine.
But yes, whatever the journals is available, you will get their title and all, so
Okay.
that you can publish your research article on those journals.
Sir, sir, please go ahead, sir. Sir, you unmute and ask the question, sir. Das, sir. Sir, Das, sir. Sir, you unmute and ask the question, sir.
So can we conclude, sir, or any other doubts? Prasanna, sir, can we conclude or any other doubts?
Abhishek, sir, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Huh.
Our research committee chairman will be asked some questions.
Yeah.
1 second. Just 1 minute.
देखते रहा मैडम इससे को इसे बोल के क्या हंस रहा था और तुम्हें मेरे पर क्या बोल हंस रहा था लॉन्ग था कि नहीं लगा
You are not audible, sir.
क्या कि ये कर रहा है कमेंट्री करा मैं सुनी ट्रांसफर हालत जाती चुप करके अब एक कौन सी लड़की है लड़की बोले मैं बोले हम लोग बोले
Sir, MM Patil, sir. हाँ sir. हाँ sir. Sir, shall I ask question on your behalf, sir? If you can tell the question, sir. हाँ sir. हाँ sir. हाँ sir. हाँ. Otherwise, I'll connect the speaker, sir. I'll connect the speaker to your mobile only, sir. Well, I'll do that. Okay.
Yes. Hello. Yeah, it is. It is an excellent presentation and nicely done, and specifically both the speaker and explain the steps wise and which we could understood. And I, Dr. Kushal Das, the chairman of the PhD committee of the university, I just like to ask you that one option you have mentioned, that writing the title of the synopsis, or you can write it later on. So in that case, sometimes the title of the synopsis changes after, and UGC permitted one-time change of the title of the synopsis in this period of the PhD. And later it is changed. Will the thesis submission will be not having any hindrance for doing that, because it will not tally the same title when is submitting the thesis in another title? What exactly the option?
So, sir, you mean the duplicate of thesis and all?
Am I clear?
Abhishek sir, one more time.
Shall I repeat?
Yes, sir, please.
Please repeat, sir.
My question is that while filling the synopsis title is one of the important parts, the title of the thesis. Now, title of the thesis based on the synopsis which has been reviewed and accepted may be again changed by the ethical committee when they ask the questions. So slight modification may require, and UGC permit one-time change of the title of the thesis. So in that case, while submitting thesis and while it corrected moderated thesis and what exactly mentioned in the beginning of the synopsis may be three different. So in that case, submission will be any problem for submission of the thesis there for review and final review for the adjudication?
So, sir, as in earlier, or also I explained that in title change, only university can do. That rights is with the university. A student can't do, means researcher can't do first, right? The second one, when you are saying you want to put the logs also, how many times it gets changed, right? So that we have not implemented. If you say this is the required, then we can change. There is no issue on that one. We can keep those logs. But we received so many feedback that generally we put the title once it get approved.
This was one of the issue for me. And second, and the last question, that what happened, the name of the guide and co-guide, once again it changes. Leaving the guide and alteration of the guide, it also happened. Will it be also a problem for that in submission of the thesis?
No, sir. That's why I'm saying if those kind of cases came one to one, we can add those changes and put into the all your logs. Let's say sometimes guide get expired. I have some experience with my colleague. So on that case, guide and co-guide you can change. But right is, again I'm saying, right would be only with the university.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please go on, and sorry for all.
No, sir, it's a responsibility to do this. Okay, if any other doubt, you can send mail to us. We will respond over there.
Okay,
Right.
okay, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abhishek and Vaishnavi, for your elaborate detailing about the Shodha Chakra. I think for our setup, it will be better for uploading the synopsis at the end of the completion, or when all the processes have been completed, final thesis topic we can upload in the Shodha Chakra. As what I could conclude from this. And I think all the PhD scholars, they will be directed for uploading the information. Guides also will be updating this. Thank you very much once again, all the organizers, for conducting this workshop on Shodha Chakra. This platform will be helpful for accessing the information of scholars and guides for various assessor processes. So I think this will be helpful for university. Thank you very much, one and all.
Abhishek sir, thank you for your elaboration session, and all your team also. We are thankful for your time and training. Thank you, sir. We will meet you again. Thank you.